Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. You're tuned in to AfroVibes Worldwide Radio. This is the T Club. My name is Mozart. That's right, aka world's most expensive DJ. I got some beautiful people in the building. That's right. I got men, females. That's right, men, women, and kids. That's right. We got kids in the building. Zoe's in the building. What's up, Zoe?
Hey. You guys speak it to the mic.
Hey, Zoe.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to the party, Zoe. This is the T Club. Ready for some tea?
Yup.
You gonna spill all the tea, Zoe? You promise? That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a great show today. We're going to talk about mixed media arts. That's right. We've got some visual artists. We've got some mixed media artists in the building. Purple Sody's in the building. That's right. Purple Sody. That's right. How are you, Sody?
I'm good. How are you?
Welcome to the T Club. I'm great. Thank you. Lamont French. That's right. Resident artist at WCA, which is a Western Contemporary Art right here in Houston. Probably actually renowned world gallery. That's right. He's in the building. French Lamont French, aka. That's right.
How you doing?
Oluwa's in the building, that's right. Oluwa Akiemi, that's right. Oluwa Akiemi, that's right. He's a mixed media artist too, that's right. He's in the building. What's up, Olu?
What's good?
Sorry, the gills are just on my mic level, that's right. To my right, I go, that's right. Caleb the Great, that's right. He's Caleb, you're a rapper, right?
Rapper, singer, musician.
That's right, he's a musician. He's in the building too.
Hey.
That's right. To my left, I got Soleil in the building too. That's right. She's an artist too. She's a singer, Nia So, right?
Yeah, everything.
That's like your Ivy Park thing.
You know, hey, Beyonce.
Jay Boogie's in the building. She goes by the name of Joanna. That's right. She's a fashion stylist. She's a model, and that's why she owns her own hair salon. And that's right. Is it a beauty salon too?
Yes, it's a hair salon.
So I can get my nails done there.
Well, actually, no, you can't get your nails done, but it's, yeah. You can do your hair though. We can get your wig split, yes. Your wig split.
Oh, so I can get my wig split down. Well, we're in the building. This is the T Club. Shout out to our sponsors. That's right. DK Hookah, the only hookah that famous people smoke. And also not just OK.com. This is AfroVibes Worldwide Radio. This is Mozart on the T Club. Let's get the party started. Fire! That's right. Please throw this man in.
Okay.
And Sody, throw that all in. And Olu. Let's go.
Oh, everybody. Okay, grab your cups. Pinkies up. Come on, okay, pinkies up. All of our guests today, do you guys solemnly swear to spill the tea, the whole tea, nothing but the tea, so help you tea?
Amen. Amen.
Yes, I
share.
It's lit.
Well, we're here in the building today, that's right. Well, Sody, thank you so much for coming through. Lamont French, thank you for coming through. Louis, thank you for coming through. Obviously, we want to talk about art in Houston. We want to talk about art in America. So, congratulations. I know that you're working with the future at WCA.
Thank you.
How did you, first of all, how did you become a mixed media artist?
I became a mixed media artist after becoming a regular artist. I was kind of bored with just regular painting canvas and wanted to just paint on other things, add things other than painting. So I started experimenting, so I kind of transitioned into a mixed media artist.
What did you experiment with?
What were your first few experiments? Newspapers. I would collage newspapers. I would put like plastic things into my paintings. I started epoxying everything, so I put like a resin top coat. So it allows me to like morph a painting to like, yeah, that's dope. Thank you. That's amazing.
And French, what about you? When did you know that you were going to become an artist?
I've always been creative in my life, since a kid. But as far as becoming a professional artist, I didn't really know when I started painting. I didn't really know that's what I was gonna do. I was just making work, it was therapeutic. And then I had accumulated so much work over a time span of 2 years, to where I had all these friends that would come to to my house, and they were like, you need to do a show. And I wasn't really into that, but I had so much work, so I decided to put together a show at the Museum of African American Culture in the 3rd Ward in the Museum District. And 275 people came.
Wow.
Hallelujah.
That's amazing.
We love that.
Yes.
And after that, things just kind of snowballed as far as meeting people and having a brand and and then just pushing everything forward. And then, there's some other things that, we'll talk about as the show goes on that happen. So.
All right. So what inspired your love for art?
I've always been creative since I was a kid. My foundation, the basis is I was an athlete. And my father was an athlete, so I would get to watch, different athletes and different uniforms and the color patterns and, how they would,
you wanted to coordinate that.
Exactly.
Make a composition of it.
And that's from an athletic standpoint. Now, as I got older, it kind of transitioned into watching fashion and, the different colors and, just how you put an outfit together and, charisma and things like that. But then just the culture of being an artist is in whatever, from fashion to music to entertainment, things like that. So then, as far as me becoming a visual artist, this person right here and her brother were, my biggest inspiration because when I'm not here, they'll be able to control the market with my work.
So you bring them into your business as well?
More so her,
Yeah.
her, because she's creative also, and her mind just takes over. So I just want them to be able to see that you can take pretty much your own destiny into your own hands.
Yeah.
You can create what you want for your life and push forward. And I don't want them to have any of the tribulations that I had. So hence, like, she's on my hip right now. She's always, in the studio with me.
She's in the studio with us.
So yeah, she's working.
So Zoe, can you tell us what you do? You have a title in the business?
No.
Not yet.
She's just daddy's girl.
Oh, that's the best title. What do you like to do? So you're an art as well?
Well,
Tell them about your step
one of
show.
my,
Tell them about your step show.
Oh, so at school, I do step, and I have step shows and competitions, so I really like doing that because it's really fun, and we do really cool activities with our step team and our step coaches, so that's pretty cool too. And one of my electives was art, but it was too packed, so I just I have theater and and speech. So.
Do you do art at home with your dad?
Sometimes when I go over to his house.
No. So you make sculptures?
Oh, no, but I made this painting with like all these different colors. It was like black, red, green, and it had these shapes on it that I painted when I was over there. And it was.
What about the one with all the words? Did you try to make like that?
Yeah. I had that one hung up in my room. So yeah, it like says power on it, and so.
Remember the piece I told you where I took all the quotes
Yes.
from different people over the test of time? So the title of the piece was 3,053 words, and she tried to duplicate it, but smaller. She tried to duplicate that piece, but she made it smaller, and she used different words like girl power, be yourself, and things like that. But she did that when she was like 8 years old. So how old are you now?
11.
So it runs in his family.
You're in trouble, Lamont.
Yeah, I know.
Shout out to Olu's here, that's our Olu. So how did you become an artist?
Well, I started off musically, so I used to just play instruments, stuff like that, sample records and things like that. And I always figured like music is kind of like a gateway drug in itself to all the other arts and how you can approach it and things like that. So when I was making music, I would just have these visions, just visually. I would see so many visual things, and as I was getting off the weight off my shoulder musically, visually, a lot of that weight was building off, and I was just I have more to say and different ways to say it. So I just started experimenting with oil paints, acrylics, and things like that. Then after that, I got just kind of tired of drawing still lifes and drawing things, just drawing from life, and I just wanted to start distorting it. So I just started playing around with mixed media and sculpture. I wanted to be able to walk around my sculptures, walk around my work, and incorporate these stories that I feel like there's for people like us, there's never enough people telling our stories. So I guess that's kind of how it started out. And one thing leads to another, and we but you know, you're a voice for certain people, and you know, you gotta use that power very wisely too.
Fantastic.
So you said you started off with instruments, right? What was your first one?
Guitar.
Guitar.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite?
Favorite right now is probably bass guitar. Bass guitar right now is my favorite. Yeah.
You didn't bring it today? No.
Definitely not today.
Next time.
Yeah, maybe next time.
You got some work on SoundCloud, right?
Yeah, I do got some work on SoundCloud. And I released 2 EPs, one in August, last August, and I actually released one coming into this new year. And it was called Vitality. And it's kind of like the birth of life, the beat of life. And that's just to do with, you know, being aware, understand, you know, being awake as who you are, because we're all very, very awake, you know. So I have music to reflect that. And in a sense, it also kind of feels like travel, like exploration, because we're always reaching for some other new heights, some other new way to get deeper into ourselves and also further out. So, you just follow me on SoundCloud, OLU,
Shout out to Purple Sody. Purple Sody brought me this purple Buddha. This is something that you made?
I didn't make the sculpture, I bought it, and I just painted it.
You just decided to just glitter your mind and make it more purple.
So I'm assuming for you guys, like you guys are artists, you possibly have a lot of, you know, artwork around the house. You guys purchase a lot of these. What is a good therapeutic setting for you? I know you mentioned for you that it's very therapeutic for you. Is there a specific time in the day that you just like to go out and paint and, you know, work on your craft, or just pretty much just
For me, I mean, anyone that's been in my studio, that's just that space. And the studio could be anywhere. It could be a living room, it could be a set space. But now I've grown to the point where I actually have a studio. And I spend more time in the studio than I do within my home. Even if I'm not painting, just, you know, if you come, you'll see there's a lot of books and like little trinkets and things that you create an energy within that space. So when you're creating or when you're just sitting in that space, even with your materials, you're building a relationship with those things. So that way you can actually put that energy that's within you, you can give that back to the work. And that can happen at any time. I prefer to work through the night. So from about 6, 7 o'clock all the way to the following day. And that's just because, and Sody can attest to this, your mind as an artist, it never stops. You know,
Never stops. Never stops.
always creative?
Yeah. Tell me about purple. What does purple mean to you?
Purple means everything.
Why is your name Purple Sody?
Purple Sody because my real name is Sody. So growing up, people always were like soda pop, soda crack, you know, like soda water.
Yeah, let me take
So I was
it.
like anything soda related was what I was known for. So when I became an artist, I was like I wanted to kind of differentiate Sody and kind of add something either like Houston-y because I'm from here, born and raised here, and so you know purple soda. Purple Sody.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Purple syrup.
Yeah, Big Mo.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a quick break. We'll be back with Purple Sody. That's right. Lamont French and Odie. We're talking about art in Houston. That's right. That's right, Worldwide Radio, AfroVibes Radio, that's right, my name's Mozart, that's right. Purple Sody, Lamont French in the building, Olu too. What's up, Caleb? Ready, Boogie, join us in the building, that's right, select too. So he's in the building, sheep.
I'm killing them shit. Because I swear about the fight, we're killing them back. We're gonna put them like that. Oh God, make a man be a belly jack.
Daremos y fallame. Hilo no lo sé.
The museum.
The Museum of Purple.
The Museum of Purple.
Sody's Museum of Purple.
I got into WCA because of this guy.
Because she's dope. That's how she got
I'm amazing.
And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be able to showcase like a 3-week show is awesome. Because usually I've done like 1-day pop-ups, and so it's like you get 3 hours to catch me and see my art because I don't post everything. So just to have it up somewhere available for display and stuff is kind of, you know,
What are the dates?
surreal.
What are the dates?
It's now until the 21st of March, so.
And we're going to pay to get into this, right?
No, it's free. It's a gallery, you just walk in, you can see.
What's the address?
Just information. The address is.
2426 Bartlett.
He was 24.
2426 Bartlett, Houston, Texas, 77093.
Times.
Wednesday through Saturday.
11 a.m. 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
So you can put up today, any other week starting on Wednesday.
Today we have an artist talk, so I'll be there from 2 to 4 talking about all the sad stories that inspired all our artwork. So,
Love.
Tell them where can they see some of your murals though?
everywhere. I mean, if you go to like Midtown, downtown, you know, there's a few galleries.
How does that happen? How does like someone, is it because you can do it, so you can do large murals inside of the city, people just know, or you put a signature on it, everybody knows it's Purple Sody. Like, how does that happen where somebody hires you to do a mural in the city, and how much does it, you know, how much do you charge?
To do murals, it was kind of like it kind of fell into my lap, I want to say, because it's not that easy to just go up to someone and be like, hey, can I paint on your building? So I had a roommate who had a smoke shop in Edo called Emancipation Class, and he was looking for a muralist to do something, and he quoted a couple artists that were really, really expensive, so I just told him, like, pay my rent this month, and I'll kind of give you whatever you want, so he let me do my first mural. And that's kind of like the South Park mural on Emancipation and McGowan. It has like the South Park characters on Houston jerseys, so it's like, that was my first thing that kind of like was my step into street art, because I was venturing off campus, I was kind of tired of like, all, you know, doing small stuff. I prefer to do stuff for people to walk by, take pictures with, and that's how I kind of got into it.
So how did you meet Lamont?
I met Lamont at a gallery, a pop-up interactive street art gallery that we had over the summer called Playhouse, which is right at U.
Shout out to Playhouse, shout out to Julie.
I miss it, come back, Julie, wherever you are. Find a location.
Quickly.
Right now, like yesterday.
Yes. Yeah, the murals at Playhouse were awesome. You did most of them, right?
Not most of them, but a lot of them. And I put in a lot of artwork into there too, so just kind of working with everyone and placing art and curating a gallery for everyone to come in and see what's kind of really special.
Dope shit too.
So you're telling me right now that you don't have a 9 to 5?
I do not. I have not had a job since 2009.
Shout out to you.
Literally, I hope the IRS is not listening. I mean, I don't want to say I'm balling or rolling, but like I live a comfortable lifestyle and I maintain it. So like to me, I live day by day, painting by painting. Like that's just, I do what I love and I love doing what I love to do.
So you can be an artist out here without working a 9 to 5 and stay true to your calling. That's awesome. What about you, Fresh? You working a 9 to 5?
Just recently I got a 9 to 5 teaching art.
Oh, you're giving back to the community.
Well, once upon a time, that's you know, I was a teacher. I was a high school teacher. I taught for 6 years, and I was kind of jaded with the education system. So when I left, I said, you know, the only way that I would go back is if I could do something within the art realm. So I actually got a degree at my own high school teaching art.
Congratulations.
So, yeah.
But congratulations also, you are the resident artist at the Winston Contemporary Arts Gallery.
Yeah.
So why do you like, what does Winston Contemporary Art stand in the art gallery world in Houston? And how did you, what does it mean to you to become what does it mean for everyone who's listening that you are now the resident artist at Winston Contemporary?
For Winston to be 2.5 years old and for it to hold the weight to where it's having consistent shows with, heavy content and giving the opportunity for artists to have a pedestal to take one step further in their art career is a big deal because it's such a fresh gallery, but where the location of it in Rice Village, it holds so much weight. And for it to actually be a functioning gallery, not to where it's a gallery that's also being rented out as a venue space, but it's just an art gallery. They've expanded, they built a smaller gallery next door to the showroom floor, which Sony is being displayed. And that's where they built a studio for the artists. I am the first artist in residence, so they...
Yes! Congratulations!
And it actually, so this is the first gallery that has signed me, so they represent me. And that's a big deal for any artist because now,
is that what most artists want? You want to know?
Most definitely.
Major deal.
It's like
you getting paid to make.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Not only you're following, like your passion. So
Yes.
that's
And then it's like signing a record deal, a major record deal. You know, I went from being an independent artist to where I was curating and hosting my own shows and taking the risk up front on my own shoulders. Now, because of the connections that I had within the art world, I was able to build my reputation and build a buzz, and that's how Winston found me. Through contacts and just actually building a name for myself as an artist. But then also too, once they gave me that opportunity, I had to deliver. So, like I told you earlier this week, it was like I put out 4 mixtapes, and then that was my album.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? I was preparing myself. Nipsey, he put out 7, 8 mixtapes, and it took him 10 years to put out his first album, and he won a Grammy off that album.
Yeah.
So, if you can still hear, I'm sure there will be more to come. So, when I got that opportunity, I made sure I capitalized. My show, Samson Song, opened November 22nd, and it closed at the beginning of the year. And it was the highest grossing show at Winston within the past 2.5 years.
Wow.
Congratulations.
And then it allowed me an opportunity also to have a great relationship with the owner, Kevin Watson.
And Kevin's going to be on the show too.
Yeah, we got to get Kevin on the show. But for him to even entrust in me, for me to bring an artist like Sody to the gallery and say, he called me and was like, hey, do you have a female artist that you think that we could put in the show, or that we could put in the gallery, and she would be fired, and she was the first person that I called. I was like, yeah.
Wow.
And she had the work,
Yeah, she's ready.
That goes back to that, when that opportunity comes, you gotta be able to deliver. So,
Yes, always. I'm born for this. Yes.
So, do you have a show coming up anytime soon this year?
So I have a pop-up show at Hamal Manier in September.
You should have a DJ. You should tell him. Tell him to just make me DJ.
Yeah, I can do it. It's gonna be hosted by Avion Tequila, Avion 44 Tequila.
Okay.
And then my solo show, my big show is November 6th at Winston Contemporary.
I'll set it up because Xavier's supposed to, I'm supposed to get Xavier to come over here.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about Mom. Yeah. Obviously, through Julie.
Yeah.
Julie's got something that she's doing there too. I think every Sunday or Saturday.
Poetry?
I don't know what she's doing.
She do poetry at WC.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I'm drawing a blank. It's every last Saturday of the month, so that's fine. So because of Photo Fest, and they're having all the photographers do an art talk every Saturday, so it's next Saturday. So I'll figure it out.
So what's your relationship with AfroVibes? What do you do with AfroVibes?
My relationship with you,
Yeah!
And one thing I can say about you, just being a curator is, you're serious about what you do. You hit me almost a year ago after seeing, also too, I guess you saw my work at the Guy Gallery. I was the first American artist in resident at the Guy Gallery in the 3rd Ward. He only shows African and Puerto Rican artists. But I had a month residency there, and that's a big deal because Lloyd Gotti, he's a world-renowned journalist, who started collecting art, and he just created this whole platform. You know, he took a house, gutted it out, and created an art gallery. And you know, he does wonderful things just for the community by hosting First Friday, and he also educates young people that come in and buy art. You know, he creates a payment plan for them, and he tells them what's affordable, what's good art to buy, and things like that for the decor of their homes. And he's passionate about being in the heart of Third Ward as well. So, you know, I got a phone call from you after my residency there, and you know,
I'm always on the phone.
So just recently,
if I don't pick up, I'm on the phone.
You know, we spoke about AfroVibes, and it's kind of hard for me to actually, I guess, be within the show, just because of everything that I have going on. But as far as endorsing these young artists that you have that are hungry and raw, and you know, they just need that opportunity. That's where I come into where, you know, my studio is always open, my phone I'm always going to pick up.
Thank you.
Any tidbits that, you know, anytime they want to pick my brain, I'm always available, because that's how I, you know, got the opportunities that I got by having, you know, a mentor and someone who, you know, introduced me to certain people and, you know, took me in certain circles. But, you know, I became an artist when I was 32 years old. You know, and I'm about to be 39 in November. You know, these artists that you're bringing are 19, 23, 26, 27. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like Odu.
Yeah. You
And
know,
Odu, we had like a little art discussion a couple of days ago, and Odu, you were able to attend. What does it mean to like be in the Winston Gallery, to meet a guy like Lamont French, to see his work, and also to see Sody's work? To like, what are you inspired?
I'm beyond inspired, yeah. Definitely incredibly inspired, because even like, because that even goes back further to even you, and I did 2 shows back when I was last year, so that's another opportunity to meet guys like French, which I can just pick his brain about and ask questions, and I think that's really important for people like me, because as you continue to grow as an artist and you continue to, you know, sell your work and expand, you need more advice as well. You need a lot of guidance, you need a lot of things that, you know, something that he might have avoided that I can avoid, I mean, something that he didn't be able to avoid that I can avoid, and just the way I approach building out the art and stuff like that. And then you just see Sody's work on building, which is so purple, it's so H10. You know, you walk in and like, you know, the step is literally dripping on the floor. Like all that matters, you know. Just little things like that matter into the show.
because she's dope.
Yeah, very, very dope. You know, all that, just those little intricacies matter when you walk into a space, because as an artist, when somebody views your work, you kind of want to trap them into that moment, into that space. So you see the purple soul on the wall, and I'm pretty sure her and French had conversations about how to, you know, put an emphasis on everything that was being put into the room, and I think that's just really important for us to be able to just look up to them and just ask them raw questions about, you know, how to approach certain things.
Absolutely. You know what's also important? Money. Obviously, stock market is crashing with the coronavirus. I know purple Sody, you know, and I want all you mixed media artists to basically comment on this. You know, what's the financial importance of art in our community today? Because I think a lot of young people, for me, like, I want to buy, I want to collect, I want to save, and then eventually flip art. But I know the stock market's down. I think the only thing that you can possibly invest in that is probably making money is gold right now and art. Yeah. So maybe you can tell us a story about how, you know, the financial art market has benefited you or something, or a story that you know, or why is it important for young people to invest their money in art?
Not only is it important for future investments, but it's also, to me, before it's an investment, it's an emotional purchase. So people don't usually buy art unless they look at it and it makes them feel something, whether it's anger, happiness, sadness, reminds them of their grandparents or something. So it's like, it's an emotional investment before it's a financial one. So when you're taking the financial investment, it could be a gamble. You're kind of like, I don't know if this artist is going to make it, or you're buying high dollar art from artists who already made it. So to me, it's like you find someone you can connect with as an artist, And if you enjoy your work, you want to see it every day on your wall, like, because it makes you feel something, like, that's what you purchase art before. It's, oh, I want to make money on this later. To me, it's like I've always looked at money as the last thing for the reason why I do art, because I do it because I love to do it. I've definitely done a lot of pro bono work, doing a lot of favors for friends that, you know, that I thought, you know, would help me at the time. You know, I've had good experiences, I've had bad, I've had managers, I've had agents, I've had all types of experience. So it's like to do it for yourself before you do it for anyone else is kind of the only way to do it. Otherwise, it's like you're just doing it for money, and you know, there's no emotion behind it or nothing.
So don't do that.
For people.
Don't buy it from your emotions.
Right.
That's right. But
You
Fred,
don't
what about
listen to
you?
me though, I'm a crybaby, so I'm all about emotion. So.
I see you crying right now.
Oh
so
my God.
Fred, you know, maybe you can tell us, like, you know, a little bit about, you know, like, why people should be investing in art right now, like younger people, younger generation. You had a story where one of your friends bought a $500 piece, valued it now it's like $4,500.
Because it's the one. Well, it's not the one thing, but it doesn't depreciate.
Yeah.
You go buy a car, you drive it off the lot, it immediately depreciates by 10 grand. But if you buy a piece of art, it's gonna appreciate. Well, there's a little bit more logistics to it, but the work is gonna appreciate way more higher in value. It's like buying a stock or a bond. It's like buying gold. So from a personal standpoint, a friend of mine, okay, I'll tell the story. A friend of mine, he bought one of my first pieces 5 years ago, and it was an abstract piece. I don't make abstract work, but it was like an exercise. It was something that I was just doing because I was just starting off as an artist. So that's one of the only abstract pieces that will ever be made by Lamont French. He bought it for $500 5 years ago, and he had it appraised like 2 weeks before my show this year, just to see, and it appraised for $4,500.
Wow.
And that's in 5 years. So to think, as I accumulate this work, I'll break it down in a couple ways for you guys. So for me, financially, it helps me get to a place where I'm comfortable now. But at first, I went for broke. I mean, there were days, and I had a corporate job. I made 6 figures before, and because of my passion, I had to get this work out. So, you know, as long as I could, you know, Julian Schnabel said the most important thing to an artist is to be able to make work. Everything else is really irrelevant. You know, I made a piece, I made a homeless sign, and it says, "Starving will work for art. Please help, God bless." And it looks just like a homeless person painted it, but the message behind it is called Starving Artist, and the message behind it is your passion will feed you, because you'll figure out how to get your passion out. That's what's going to feed you. Look at musicians. Look at Beyonce. I watched her. I don't know. You guys might be too young, but there used to be a thing called My Life on MTV, and she whispered to herself. She said, "This has to work. I gotta make this work. I can't fail." And look at where she is now.
That's true.
You know, and I remember moments like that, and that inspired me. So when I took this leap of faith, because of her brother, because I know that one day I'm not going to be here, and I'm not going to be able to leave tangibly in their hands $1 million. So if I make enough work and the value increases, she can go on the market and control my estate, and they'll be taken care of. But also, too, that's not my sole focus as far as when I make the work. I'm making it work because I have something that's, if I don't get this out, then I'm going to go crazy.
Yeah.
But then, let's say, so Heaven, you have access to these artists, right? You can tangibly get your hands on this work. And it's just like, you know, can I be frank?
It's a tea club. It's good tea. You promised.
It's just like, you know, it's just like selling dope. You know, you go get the kilo or you go get the brick, and you get it for one price, and then you double it up. So Heaven, you have access to the work to where I can tell you, hey, this costs this much. You say, okay, you're the middleman. And then you go on the other end, you can put twice the value on it. But as long as I get my cut and you get your cut, then the gallery get their cut, and everybody's happy. But then